monitor, protect, and then let go. Thank you. AMCA is a network of state and regional affiliates. All of this evening's rescue showcase stars were adopted through affiliates from the AMCA Northeast region, the Alaska Malamute Rescue of New England, AMRON, and Chesapeake Area Alaskan Malamute Protection, CHAMP. Both groups are run by long-time dedicated rescuers and volunteers. 3 of this year's showcase stars are from the 2011 Montana seizures. Emmy is not here with us tonight. She's was not able to participate. She's the companion of Joe and Suzanne Slayton, adopted through CHAMP. Emmy started life in a cruel, heartless environment in Montana, with almost no food, no shelter, and no human contact. A strong little girl, she fought fiercely to stay alive. With facial scars and some broken teeth and a nipped ear, she somehow survived puppyhood and was rescued by the Lewis and Clark Humane Society. She attended socialization classes and overcame her fear of humans. Emmy then spent some time at CHAMP with a wonderful lady named Angela. After losing our 15-year-old Malamute, we fell in love with Emmy and adopted her. On her first day home, she ran like the wind in her new fenced yard in celebration of her newfound freedom. Patience and love helped her to overcome her fears of steps, TV, music, fans, doggy doors, and just about everything else in the house. She has become a loving, sweet, altogether incredible little dog. This past winter, she enjoyed playing and diving headfirst into the snow. She is our digger dog, constantly burying her toys and then proudly bringing her mud-covered treasures back inside to her mommy. Our Emmy had a rough start in life and has the scars to prove it. Although she still has some fears to overcome, she is our pretty little princess, loved, adored, and cherished. Emmy has been in her forever home since April 2014. Our first dog is B-Bear, Band 22. B-Bear has titles of CGC, RL1X2, RL2, RL3, and RX5. She's the companion of Aaron Fox, adopted through AMRO. B-Bear came into rescue as a young, exuberant, intact male from an apartment in Boston. He has been in 4 homes in 9 months. His foster home provided him with a stable environment where he played with children and other dogs. B-Bear is extremely smart. In fact, he is better at complicated exercises than he is at healing. He earned titles in the Rallyo and participates in agility, Rally Free, Ragged, Games, Tricks, and other sports we discovered. Always a crowd pleaser. Sometimes he's nearly perfect in the ring, and sometimes he gets the zoomies. Chases his tail, jumps in and out of the brain, but always returns to Laurel. B-Bear loves water and anything that moves and makes noise. He loves running, hiking, giving hugs, playing with toys, and lying upside down in bed. He has a sprinkler that he carries around while it's praising. He enjoys sitting in chairs, riding in sleds, and playing at daycare. B-Bear is just a big, smart, happy, silly, extremely friendly, lovable boy. He is the first of my dogs that my elderly father wanted to be his own. B-Bear has been in his forever home since April 2013. Allie is our next guest, band number 23, companion of Kathy Ferragamo, adopted through AMRO. Allie is one of the first Malamutes from the November 2007 South Dakota seizure. We took her in as foster dog for Amron, and she soon became a permanent member of our family. We were told that she was 7 years old, which now would make her 14. She has slowed down, but doesn't act her age, so possibly she could have come a bit younger when we adopted her. When Allie first came to us, she was withdrawn and afraid. It took months of working with her to help gain confidence and trust. To this day, she can still be a little shy when she's in a situation that is new to her. But her Malamute resiliency comes through, and she bounces right back to a wonderful, happy girl she has become. She makes friends very quickly with anyone who has a treat for her. We're very proud of Allie for her guest appearance in the book. A few years ago, we had won an auction to benefit AMCA, and Allie was one of the Malamutes featured in Cindy Benson's book, Chloe and Friends. Allie loves going for walks, riding in the car, exploring the yard, enjoying a frozen treat-filled calm, and sleeping in her crate. She shares her home with an almost 2-year-old Malamute male. Allie has been in her forever home since July 2008. Steele, come on in. Steele is armband number 24, companion of Heidi Rice. Adopted through Champ, Steele was an impulse buy puppy purchased by a young couple with no northern breed experience. They lived in a basement apartment in the city and had no idea about the mischief a Malamute can get into. Fortunately, Champ was contacted and Steele was released to rescue when he was 7 months old. Steele was a very smart puppy and quickly learned sit down and wait before eating. That's a good one. During 2 months, during the 2 months he was fostered, Steele was very playful with the other Malamutes, who helped burn off puppy energy. Funny, Steele traveled south to his original home to the Champ foster, then north to the original home to his forever family. He now lives in beautiful Vermont. Steele has a rambunctious, sweet, and playful personality. His favorite pastimes are wrestling with his Malamute sister, Kaya, enjoys Malamute zoomies, goes for boat rides on Lake Champlain, gives sloppy kisses, goes for long walks, getting bear hugs, and being the resident goofball. Steele has been in his forever home since May 2014. Thank you very much. Our next is Emma. Emma is armband 25, companion of Tim and Kristen. Say it out loud. Grable, thank you. Adopted through Champ. When Emma was rescued from a backyard breeder at 3 weeks of age, she weighed just 20 ounces, barely over a pound. When she was only 10 weeks old, she bloated but survived the crisis after surgery that saved her life. We are grateful to Champ for taking such amazing care for her for 2 years. She loves taking long walks, sniffing at the beach, following her brother Jack and a keto mix around the yard and eating ice cubes. Emma prefers sleeping on the floor with her head under the bed cover by the bed skirt. She loves attention and will lean her whole body against people. She is super friendly and is always the star of the show when we're out. Her special talent is marching in place with her back 2 legs when we scratch the top of her tail and her hind legs. We call it her butt dance. When we got married last year, we were pleased to make a donation to Champ in lieu of our wedding favors. Emma has been in the forever family since August 2011. Peter, are you ready? Come on in. Pierre is number 26 armband, companion of Michelle Frigman, adopted through Champ. Pierre came from the Montana seizure. He had battle wounds, he was emaciated and malnourished. He was shy to the point of being feral. When Pierre arrived at Champ in March 2013, a year and a half after his initial rescue, he was still so shy that he was sent to ASPCA special rehab program. Upon the passing of our beloved Malamute Diesel, we wanted to donate to the rescue in his name. When we came across Pierre's picture in the story, we knew we had to help him. We journeyed to Virginia to adopt Pierre, knowing it wasn't going to be easy for any of us. Slowly he started to play with the toys. He began running, howling, and taking treats. He was letting go of his fears. A few months later, we adopted Ripley, another Champ dog, and something clicked with Pierre. Who changed overnight. He was so happy and full of life. He was becoming the dog he always should have been. He was in love. Pierre still has some issues, but we're still just the sweetest and happiest boy. He loves his special dental treats, his ice cream time, his cuddle time, and his playtime with his girl, Ripley. Pierre had a bad start, but those days are long gone. He knows he is loved, and we couldn't be happier with him. Pierre has been in his forever home since April 2014. Gypsy is next, armband 27, companion of Vivian Reed, adopted through Champ. Gypsy came from the Montana seizure. When we met, the two of us took a walk, and as we returned to the kennel, she trained her soft, lonely brown eyes on me and asked me to give her a home. At Champ, she was a Luke's Lily, but when I loaded the peanut-sized Malamute into my car, I knew her name had to be Gypsy. When I brought my Gypsy Peanut home the first day, I said, "Time to unpack your bags for the last time, little girl. Teach me to understand and be patient with you. I'll show you what my beloved Stoli taught me about love, loyalty, kindness, and happiness. I knew that my Stoli had died 2 months earlier. We want to share my loving home with another Malamute." Gypsy and I have been to Ocean City, Maryland, where she experienced the sand between her toes for the first time. When not traveling, Gypsy spends her days playing ball, relaxing in the house with the AC, entertaining visitors by asking for belly rubs and bunny patrolling in the backyard. In May, Gypsy was diagnosed with an immune-mediated the condition is manageable with meds, but is incurable and potentially life-threatening if not monitored correctly. I am committed to the sweet, loving little girl. She is a fighter, a scrapper, but most of all, she's a survivor. Gypsy has been in her forever home since March 2015. Loki is next, armband 28. Companion of Steve and Maggie Burgess, adopted through Champ. Loki was born on Valentine's Day, 2012. He was one of 22 Malamutes brought to the attention of Champ. He and his sister were just 3 months old when they arrived in Virginia for foster care. Because their special birthday, they were named Romeo and Juliet. Ironically, Loki's fur was red, as well as being a Valentine boy. He was released to Champ underweight, and his fur completely matted with thick mud and tested positive for several parasites. We adopted Romeo when he was 4 and a half months old. Loki was very good on his long 6-hour ride home and changing his name to Loki. We named him after the Norse god of mischief. He promptly began to live up to his new name. In the first few days with us, we realized how much of a happy puppy he still was. He chewed everything in sight. Curious, Loki loved to go up and down stairs, checking out both levels of our house. He enjoys hiking with his backpack and ski joring in the winter. He socializes well with other dogs and children. Loki is a big leaner and loves attention from anyone willing to pet him. Loki has been in this forever home since July 5th, 2013. Ginger is next. Armband 29, companion of Jill Hunter and Matt Feinberg, adopted through Amron. Ginger came to, actually I think it's called Amron, sorry. Ginger came to Amron in September 2005. She and her sister were adopted by Matt Feinberg and Jill Hunter, who already owned two female Malamutes. Ginger was a little dog, aggressive and not very affectionate, but was making progress on becoming a socialized dog. At 11 months of age, Ginger fell off a snow-covered wall and broke her leg. On that snowy day, Ginger realized she needed humans. Her personality changed forever. She is still a strong-willed Malamute, but she is extremely affectionate to humans and friendly with other dogs. In January 2015, Ginger tore her cruciate ligament in the good leg. So she has a TTA repair in March 2015 and walked out of the surgeon's office the day after surgery using all four legs. She continues to get stronger each day, both physically and emotionally. Ginger has been in her forever home since 2005. Come on in, Tucker. Tucker's armband number 30, companion of Joanne Little, adopted through Amron. Tucker came to Amron from a young owner who realized that just 3 days after a Malamute puppy was more than he had bargained for. Tucker enjoyed going to doggy daycare several times a week. He is still so excited when we arrive at daycare that he lets himself in and goes straight to his play yard. It took Tucker a long time to realize he could jump on the bed. He'd run into the room and get stuck on his belly and finally fall down. One day he figured it out. And when he got on the bed, he was so surprised that he just stood there and shocked. When Tucker does things like this, he makes me laugh. Tucker has been in his forever home since January 2013. Oreo is next, number 31. Oreo is a CGC, companion of Carly Duvall, adopted through Amron. Oreo and her sister Buttercup came to rescue from the MSPCA and two sick 8-week-old puppies. Rescue had been shown photos of their Malamutes, of their Malamute mother. When the puppies arrived, we realized that the father must have been a Siberian. Oh well, we are here to help. Oreo was the healthy puppy. She had endless energy. Buttercup was content just to lie on your lap and then sleep. As it turned out, Buttercup had polycystic kidneys. This disease was shutting down her kidneys. The only choice we had to make was to put her to sleep at just 12 weeks of age. My whole family cried. Fortunately, the ultrasound showed that Oreo's kidneys were just fine. When I heard the news, I told my mom, Oreo is not leaving. The Amron board agreed to let me keep Oreo if I trained her in basic obedience. A year later, Oreo passed her CGC test. The next year, she passed it again. Lately, I've been training her to do tricks. Is she doing any now? Go ahead, do a couple tricks. Such as roll over, stand, and touch. She loves to play with my grandparents' black lab, Addie, with our foster dog. Woody and I older dog Fancy, and Oreo is my best friend. Oreo has been in her forever home since September 2012. Thank you. Woody is next on band 32. He is handled by Grayson Duvall. Woody came to the Alaska Malamute Rescue in New England after living life in the kennel run. His backyard breeder has been the source of pet Malamutes in Massachusetts for decades. Amron has placed over a dozen dogs from this kennel in the past 15 years. When the breeder's health took a turn for the worse, she surrendered her remaining dogs to the local shelter. The shelter called rescue after unsuccessfully placing Woody in 2 homes. The shelter and those first adopters thought that he was friendly, but everyone noticed that he wouldn't fetch or play with toys, didn't like doorways and stairs, and wouldn't approach people. Amron took Woody into foster care at the Duvall's house, and where he quickly made friends with everyone. Soon afterward, it was discovered that he was advanced renal atrophy and is completely blind. His disability doesn't stop him from having a great time and loving life. Woody is currently in foster home with Amron and patiently awaiting his forever home. Just an add-on. Go ahead. Shannon, am I wrong? Is Takini our next? Yeah. Takini, this is in memorial or in memory of Takini, the companion of Susan and David Gallagher, adopted through Amron. We rescued Takini when he was just 1.5 years of age and enjoyed him until just a month shy of his 14th birthday. Boy did he change our lives. Not a single person in either David's or my life has been impacted, of course, of life as this dog has. Had it not been for Takini, we would have never gotten hooked on Alaska Malamutes, thus not gotten into rescue, dog sledding, weight pulling, conformation showing, and even having a litter of puppies. He has led us on many adventures during his life with us. He has taught us all the good things, living with a Malamute, as well as everything bad. We have traveled over the United States and part of Canada with all our activities. We have made some wonderful lifelong friendships, and we have some awesome dogs. All of this we attribute to just one dog named Takini. We have thoroughly enjoyed this ride, so we wished it would never end. Unfortunately, we knew that someday it would. We will never forget what trouble you have gotten us into. We miss you, buddy, and always will. You have earned one special place in our hearts. Love you, T. Rest in peace, old man. This has been a fantastic journey with you. Until we meet across the bridge, wear your silver harness with pride. We're sure, sorry. You sure have earned it. That was for Takini. I believe all our dogs are going to enter the ring now. These are basically the stories of a few Malamutes that have been rescued through a Animal Network. We treasure their progress, and words cannot state the importance of the adopters' efforts in providing these dogs with the tools they need to heal and acclimate to family settings. This is the essence of rescue. We're here actually to have an announcement for the Christensen Award. Each year, AMCA recognizes affiliate volunteers who always work in rescue, but are seldom in the limelight with the Christensen Award. This award was established by Doctors Norm and Diane Pomerantz in memory of Chris Christensen, husband to Betty Christensen, who started rescue in North Texas. Chris, the quiet presence who never let go of the leash while exercising dogs. Chris was steady, strong, modest, tireless, kind, and died of a heart attack. The award is in his honor, and this year goes to Lois McKinnon of Champ, Dana Sterner of WAMAL, Stephanie Kuntz of Tansa Blue Rescue. Without our unsung heroes, we cannot save the dogs who mean so much to us. Thank you for celebrating with us this evening, and please join us in applauding the rescue stars one more time.